3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1022. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome. And thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So starting with interpreting the number 1022, the number 1 is about trusting yourself. Be prepared if you plan to stick around for the next 1,000 videos or so. There will always be a message to trust yourself and to pay attention to what your intuition and your inner voice are trying to tell you, where they are intuitively trying to guide you. And I just saw the number 122 on the timer, which is about the idea that change starts with you. Very interesting to see this 122 on the timer, because when I said, when I was thinking about doing a reading, maybe while I was talking about the intro or something, for mystery reading 1022, minus the 0, it definitely reminded me of 122, and I wasn't sure if I should interpret it that way, but since I saw it on the timer, it seems like I should. So not only are you being encouraged to trust yourself, but also to trust that whatever changes that you're making internally or in your own life will have a positive impact on those around you and in the collective overall. This is a reminder to trust that what you do and don't do does matter, and it does make a difference. So it's okay, if you feel uncomfortable with it, to value your own decisions. It's okay to be proud of yourself for making good decisions, too. The number 0 is about cycles. Maybe there are some patterns that you're noticing within yourself, or within other people in your life, or even just in life in general. What patterns, recurring thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, types of relationships, types of situations are you noticing either within yourself or in your own life? I feel like there is encouragement here for you to pay attention to patterns. Maybe it'll help you connect the dots for something, somehow. I also interpret the 0 as a message for you to always put yourself first, your own journey, your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, choices, before anyone and anything else. It's okay to make your life about you. And I want to say that it's okay to make other journeys in your life, aside from the connection with yourself, about you. But of course, sometimes you're going to have to consider other perspectives. And I feel like that's more so a message to, don't be afraid to make your own perspective known, to voice your own opinion. The number 2 is about a lot of different things, and there are 2 2s. Maybe you are seeing the number 222. I know that in readings lately, at least one of them, I've been seeing the number 222, but I interpret this number. One second. I think I'm about to sneeze. It It really doesn't happen all that often, but when I sneeze during a reading, it's a sign of blessings. That good things either have the potential to come your way or already are. It's just a matter of your own choices and how you choose to move forward in the relationship with yourself and other commitments in your life, other relationships. Anyways, the number 2 can be confirmation of a significant person or situation that you have on your mind during this reading. It's also about inner balance, finding inner peace. Maybe there's some sort of inner conflict here that you're dealing with that is important for you to address, sort through, process, and find resolution for. Find closure. The last way that I interpret the number 2 is your choices and prioritizing what means the most to you. There is a little bit of a theme here, a little bit of a pattern that I'm noticing, where your choices, taking ownership of your own choices, feels like that's relevant. There's really something here about you being in control and using your own power, especially consciously. If you aren't aware of your own power and how much control you actually do have, I definitely think that there is more for you to learn about yourself, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So if you are on that spiritual healing journey, I encourage you to keep going. If you haven't started that kind of journey, I encourage you to start that journey. I did see the number 654 on the timer just now, which is a sign about trusting that everything happens for a reason. You are healing and spiritually growing for a reason, or you feel called to do that for a very real reason. It's like I was talking about with the number 1, listening to where your intuition, your inner voice is calling you to go or calling for you to choose. Really trust yourself when it comes to your own spiritual and emotional growth. Because I'm a very, very, very strong believer that it really does matter, because not only does it affect your own life and you matter, but it also does affect the collective. And how you impact the collective, if there's more than one person having a positive impact or a negative impact, it adds up. And so, what kind of impact do you want to be a part of? What kind of collective impact do you want to be a part of? Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5. And 5 is about change and transformation. This number is here to encourage you, to confirm for you some sort of a personal transformation that you are feeling called to go through. It's also confirmation of any positive changes or a need for positive change in your own life, like in your reality with relationships, your job, your home life, a lot of different things. I'm going to move into the cards now for this reading for you, starting with these playing cards. I'm going to pull out 4 of these cards. I'm curious to see what's going to come out for you, especially because this is the last reading that I will be recording for this week to upload next week, but by the time you watch it, it'll be the day of, But let's see. So the first card that I have is the 9 of Spades, or the 9 of Swords. It says anxious, nightmares, scared. So of course, Whoever's watching this reading, there's a focus here on your fears, your anxiety, what scares you, and maybe even some nightmares that you might be having. The number 9 is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. I feel that it's important to work through your fears to understand what kind of impact you are meant to have, what kind of positive impact you can have. And it really is okay to take your time working through your fears and finding the courage to face them. It's okay to first focus on understanding them before you even try to face them. I really, really encourage you to spend time reflecting on your fears, whatever stuck, trapped, anxious, or maybe even be keeping you up at night. I personally really recommend journaling. Journaling is something that I've been doing since maybe 2019 in February. So probably maybe a good 6 or 7 years now. But I encourage it because it could be really, really helpful to get your own thoughts and feelings on paper, so that way they're easier to, observe and analyze. And I also really want you to know and to trust that whatever fear you're going through, whatever situation you're in that is creating the fear, there is a way out. There is an answer that will set you free. I really, truly believe that. And the best way, maybe the only way to find that answer, is to reflect, to give yourself the space and the time and the effort that you deserve to understand your own fear. Next is the 4 of Spades. With 4 of Swords, it says thoughtful. It feels like quite a strong confirmation there to really, really think through your fear. Spending more time resting and intentionally reflecting, that feels like confirmation of that. The number 4 is about stability on many different levels, psychologically, spiritually, physically. It feels like there's more of a focus here on psychological and spiritual stability. Once that is stable, you have a belief system that you feel like you can trust and believe in, and you have a stable mindset. I believe that you will have more stability in your own life because there will be more consistency in your own decisions. Finding answers, also, I want to say, will become easier the more that you keep looking. The next card that I have is the 10 of Clubs, or the 10 of Wands. It says accomplished goal. I'm noticing that right here it says stressed in the reverse for this 4 of Spades, and stressed as well in the 10 of Clubs. Given this 9 of Swords, the anxiety, the fear, the nightmares, I do think you are dealing with a lot of stress, but there's a more focus here on, I guess, what you could call like a silver lining, being more thoughtful and present and accomplishing your goal, a long-term goal. I feel like there is something here that has become burdensome or will become burdensome that you want to release. And it doesn't have to just be this fear. And, this ending is possible. I feel like this 10 of Clubs here is to confirm that there really is a way out. Whatever you want to achieve, whatever goals you have set or want to set to achieve, they're possible to achieve. It's just important for you to keep faith and trust in that possibility so you can keep going. Because as I say in readings sometimes, if you don't trust something, if you don't believe in it, why would you go after it? The mind operates on logic like that. It feels like I want to say that you have to think in a logical way. Like, instead of having trust and faith about, religion or spirituality or hope, you could just see it as something that is necessary for you to keep going. Like a necessary ingredient to a recipe or something, The number 10 is about the presence of your spirit guides, which I think is very, very nice for this reading. It's a reminder that you don't have to go through this alone. Perhaps your spirit guides do want to help you notice some patterns by bringing your attention to some patterned messages or signs. So I do encourage you to pay attention if that resonates for you. Let's go ahead and get the last card from these playing cards. Oh, this one just flipped over on its own, all weird like. But I have the 7 of Hearts, or the 7 of Cups, and it says, fantasy. This is about how clearly you are seeing things. Maybe there's a choice that you are being called to make, or this is about how you make choices in general. It feels like this fear here is throwing your judgment off. And so you end up making decisions, or end up making a decision that reflects more, your fear rather than truth, reality. And that's why I feel like it's really important, another reason, to reflect on your fears so that way you can either learn how to release them or to live with them. Let yourself have courage. I say it a lot. What is courage without fear? The number 7, we're 7 minutes into recording the second portion of the video, by the way. Or the second part, because if you've been around, you know that I can only record videos 10 minutes at a time. And the second one, we're at 7 minutes right now. And this number is about finding deeper meaning, seeking out wisdom, expanding your awareness and your consciousness. That really, really feels like confirmation of what I've been talking about. Reflecting, being thoughtful, focusing on whatever psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual goals that you have. I'm really feeling that your intuition is guiding you somewhere or pulling you somewhere. And it's important to pay attention to that. And I also want to make the distinction, since there's a lot of fear in this energy, that fear is loud, it's jarring, like when you think about it in an energetic sense, or vibes, and your intuition is more quiet. It's a quiet knowing. And maybe it can make you feel scared, but I don't know. Maybe you do feel called here to better understand the difference between when your fear is trying to take control and when your intuition is trying to take control. I'm going to start wrapping up this reading by drawing out a deck of cards from this box of cards. I'm just going to pull out 3 of these cards. Alright. These cards are always so interesting to me because I just wrote random things on them, channeled and whatnot, and it's really interesting to see how they show up in readings. Wow. So I actually have French here on one side of this card, so if you feel like, you want to learn the French language, or if you have French ancestors, or maybe if you're living in France, maybe that could be a strong confirmation for you in some way. And we have on the other side, you deserve so much more. There's a number 17 at the top. Starting with the number 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. And the number 8 is about loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. And I will let you interpret that in whatever way you feel called to. There is a general theme here about trust, though. I think learning to have more trust in yourself could give you a stronger sense of stability and security and safety. Let's go ahead and pull the next card, because you deserve so much more. That's pretty self-explanatory, and I definitely believe that that is true. You deserve so much more, and you have the power to, if you choose to face your fears. Okay, so this card has two sides. On one side, it says, drawing might be a good thing to do. You might feel called to do channeling through art. And on the other side, we have song lyrics from the song Buried Alive by Avenged Sevenfold. This side has number 57 on it. 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. And just saw the number 122, which is a sign that change starts with you. The number 3 is about expressing yourself, communicating. I really feel that you could make a difference by using your voice, healing and growing, and making a commitment to yourself, your healing journey, the journey of building a better relationship with fear in general. The song lyrics say, chances are that you might find that we share a common discomfort now. This really makes me think of when I just talked about making a difference. There are people in this world who understand your fears, or they understand what it feels like to feel fear in the way that you do. And by overcoming your fears, by finding a way out, you have the potential to show others where the way out is. You know, and I really think that's something powerful. The last card that I have is, wow, are you seeing things for what they are? Really pointing to this 7 of Hearts. I almost wanted to say the 7 of Swords, which is about deception, lies. Are you lying to yourself? Is your fear lying to you? On the other side, we have the number 444 at the top. It says, don't get attached to anything. Release the lost and find gratitude. Trust, being reminded of that message to trust that everything, trust that what's lost will be replaced. And of course, trust that everything happens for a reason. It says you may reminisce, but don't take that time for granted and keep going when you're ready. Perhaps there is some sort of codependency or unhealthy attachment that does need to be released, that is keeping you in a fear mindset, distorting your judgment, and ultimately having a negative impact on your decisions and how they create your reality. The number 444, I don't know if we already talked about the number 4. Maybe in the previous reading. That's about stability, psychologically, spiritually, and physically, and it's also to your ancestors. And what I feel is that your ancestors are really, really encouraging you to potentially break some patterns in your own family line and to create internal stability so that way you can manifest true, reliable, truly safe stability in your reality and in your relationships.